Okay, you guys, let's try this. Let's hope for the best. New camera, new location, new year. Kind of everything is with the new, and yet there's still a lot of the same, so that's cool. If you are new to my channel, which you might be, it's been a hot minute since I recorded last. My name is Eric. I am a knitter, I am an entrepreneur, and I am now, as of 4 weeks ago, a certified personal trainer. Surprise, surprise. Who knew? Not me. Didn't know that was going to happen. My journey has been one of years to discover sort of myself and my own path to fitness. So all that to say that that is not the focus of what this channel is about. This channel is about knitting, and that's what you came to see. So that's what you're going to get. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is a new camera, and I'm trying it out just to see how this whole thing works. It may or may not focus. It may cut out on me. I hope I will notice when these things happen, but I don't know for sure, so bear with me. For anybody who wants to follow me on Instagram, please do. I am e.p.lutz or Z, depending on where you're from. I am currently residing in Mexico for the next, I guess, about 2.5 weeks, and then I'm heading back home to Toronto. I've been here since about November or so. So let's talk about some knitting. I've got a bunch of finished objects. I did not bring that much knitting with me, to be honest, but through some very, very kind and generous people, I have been more than stocked up. I've also done a little bit of shopping, which I probably shouldn't have done. I spent way too much on shipping, but there was just stuff that I had to have. So I'm going to show off some of that stuff. Yeah, so let's start about that. First, let's talk about finished objects. I finished a sockhead hat. Sockhead hats are kind of my go-to for any, sorry, I'll just undo the cuff so you can see how long it is. They're my go-to for anything that is a sock yarn that I almost feel is like too good for my feet and something that I want to enjoy wearing, and I love the colors. This is Denim and Stilettos by Chelsea Luxe in her, I think it's her Luxe base, I can't remember. I'll put all of this on screen somewhere. Because I'm winging this, guys. I have not prepared a single note. I'm just going to wing it. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, it's a great hat. The funny thing is, I had a real lack of needles along the way. I only brought, like I said, certain amount with me. So some of this was done on too small a needle for the ribbing. It was done magic loop. On a too short needle that technically shouldn't have been doing on magic loop, but there it is. And then I got the right needles for 16-inch circulars to do sort of the main part of the body that arrived in a package. And then I had to change needles again to do the decreases. But I fortunately had DPNs, signature DPNs in the right size. So whatever. Anyone going to notice but me? No. Why did I feel the need to rant on about that? Don't know. Other than to say, don't let a lack of a particular specific exact needle give you a problem. You may hear every now and again certain dogs barking, things scraping on the floors, kids screaming out. There's a pool just outside here. So that may happen from time to time. I apologize. There's nothing I can do about that. It's the joys of living in Mexico. You just sort of take it as you get it. Anyway, so finished that hat. I really like it, and it's delicious. I will say I haven't blocked a single thing here. The water here in Mexico is incredibly hard, and I'm worried that if I try and block anything here, that it's just going to affect the wool and the fabric somehow in a way that I'm not going to enjoy. So I'm not blocking anything here, and I'll wait till I get home. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Mexico. I don't need a hat anyway. I'm just making them. As I lean forward and lean back, this thing should still keep me in focus somewhat, so we'll see how that goes. I will be inserting pictures or video along the way, so if you want to see things a little bit closer up, don't worry, there's more detail to come. So, we talked about that one. Let's talk about a second hat that I did. This is the Ardenwald hat by Jared Flood for Brooklyn Tweed. I did this in range 2/4 in the escarpment colorway, and so here's the deal. getting yarn to Mexico from the US is not that easy. It's kind of expensive, but I also had some other stuff that I wanted shipped. So my very, very wonderful friend, Joji Co, this is Amy, I'm pretty sure she's one half of the Periscoping Sisters. She was very kind and generous and offered to redirect shipments for me from Georgia. So thank God she did. It's a whole big long story for another day, but eventually I got some really amazing yarn, and this was 2 skeins of this that I had chosen. It's a little bit looser. I did this on the correct needle size. It's a little looser than I would normally want sort of a hat to be, but it's comfortable. It's not tight. It's not constricting anything, and it's all cables. So, you know, it will always in like twisted rib and all that sort of stuff. So it will be pretty good, I think, in the long run to just wear. It'll be something cozy and comfortable without being constricting on one's head. I will say it took me 2 goes to do the ribbed cable cast on because I lost track and lost count. And halfway through the first round realized that it was not going to look right. Because if you do the knits and the purls in the wrong direction, or if you double up on one by accident, it throws everything out. So, yeah, redid it. No big deal, no big what. What I have learned to sort of realize is if the yarn is coming from the front, your needle goes in from the front. If the yarn is coming from the back, your needle goes in from the back. So you're basically always twisting the yarn around the previous stitch. I don't know why it took me that long to get that sort of through my head, but now it works. Now I've done it on another project that I'll share with you in just a minute as well, which, yeah, it took the second time for me to make that mistake for it to actually sink in, but it did, and now I'm good. So, 2 hats down in a country that doesn't require warm hats, but I will be going back to Canada. So spring is technically, I guess, here in a week, but it's Canada. Like it could still snow till the end of May, so you never know. So did those. I also indulged in a little bit of European yarn shopping for a number of reasons, but one of them was that I desperately wanted to make the Volcano Trail cowl by Max the Knitter, and so I did. And neon is not normally something, I mean, although I have a pretty bright shirt on today, but until I came to Mexico, color was not my thing. You all know I love grello. And well, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know I love grello. The thing is with grello is everything's just to look the same. Everything goes into like gold and stuff then. But I thought this, with this pop of neon, was just going to be incredible, and yeah, not wrong. I'm going to just pop this on. Again, it has not been blocked, so it is not going to shape properly. But this yellow and gray on me, now I'm also really broad shouldered, so it's not going to like fit over my shoulders by any means. It's just going to sit as a beautiful cowl. This is all in a kit that I ordered from La Bien-Aimée in Paris, and it came like that. It was actually probably, I think, the fastest shipping I've ever experienced, especially to Mexico. Like, literally, it was here in, like, I think I ordered it on a Friday, it was here Tuesday, which was amazing, because I desperately wanted to make it. I also ordered needles to go with it, and there are these new Addy needles that are square with little ridges in them that are supposed to help your hands with fatigue and stuff like that. Yeah, they were good. I didn't really notice them much different, but what I did notice is the cables are better than in traditional sort of like the turbo rockets or all that sort of stuff that Addy offers. I think I posted some pictures on my Instagram of this in progress with those needles. Do I think they're worth the premium? Probably not, but I kind of like the name of Nomad, so whatever, that worked. So that was another one that I finished. I will say the finishing of this took as much as almost, I won't say as the knitting, because the knitting was fun. It was fast, but the knitting was fun, and this fabric is amazing, and the yarn is just so good. But there's a lot of seaming, y'all. So if you do not like seaming, you need to sort of buckle yourself in I did it over 2 days because it's not just the seaming. You seam for the double on both ends, the double thickness. You seam the back, and then you duplicate stitch the front. And yeah, that took me a while to figure out too. I mean, I know how to duplicate stitch. It's not that hard, but you have to do it in the right direction, otherwise it looks weird. There are still some places that I think it looks a bit weird, that my tension was maybe a little bit off. But once it's blocked, I think I'll be able to sort of like zhuzh it around a little bit. And at the end of the day, it's a cowl. I don't really care that much, right? It's if someone's looking at my tension, you know, on my chest, then, you know, have at it. Look all you want. So that's another amazingly, beautifully warm, gorgeous fabric that I don't need to wear while I'm in Mexico. Although, we'll say today is a little overcast, it's a little cloudy. I went for a walk earlier, had a nice coffee, got myself a chocolate croissant. Today, it's Sunday, actually I should mention that, it's Sunday, March 14th. We don't do daylight savings time here, so it's, you know, now we have a time difference, but we're generally in Toronto, New York time. But now we're an hour behind. Yeah, so I went and like did my workout this morning, and then went for coffee and stuff, and sort of worked my way up to Recorde, which, gotta say guys, I had some anxiety about. I still don't know how I feel about it, only because the world has changed so much. Oh no, we've got cars honking. Wonderful. Mexico. I don't know how I feel about it. The world has changed a lot, and I don't know, like, is this too inconsequential a piece of content to be posting out there? I don't know. I enjoy this. This is the thing. I've come to realize that my life has to include elements of joy, and if it doesn't bring me joy, it's not contributing to my life. Knitting contributes joy to my life, so I want to share that. Okay, we're going to try this again. As the scroll just showed you, my battery died on my camera, new rules. Yeah, that was fun. So I decided to take a little time out. Just like sometimes when knitting's not behaving, we just put it in timeout. So I put the camera in timeout for a minute to charge it, had some lunch, promptly spilled stuff down my shirt. So, new shirt. Same me, same day, just a little calmer now because I was so annoyed and aggravated. Felt like I was doing so well, and I was just ranting, and I'm like, okay, well now I'm not ranting anymore because there's no point. Anyway, I think I left off on projects that I was working on currently. So I'm going to go back and edit this. So if this seems somewhat disjointed, it just means that I've talked about something that I've already previously talked about, and I'm just going to cut out that stuff anyway. So we'll just, you know, keep muddling on through. This is what happens when you're not prepared. Anyway, where was I? Right, work in progress. So, I also have done this wonderful sock. I'm not sure how much of this is autofocusing or not, so I'll make sure that I put in some stills and a little bit of video so you can see a little bit more close up. This is the entwine sock that I have released as a free pattern on Ravelry. I just felt like I needed something a little more than just a standard old vanilla sock, and I love doing a 3x1 rib on my socks because the ribbing just kind of disappears when it sort of pulls in on itself. And I just felt like, wow, okay, so I've got purls on either side, I've got 3 stitches, I'm going to do a little cable cross. So I did. And I've sort of offset them. So I've mirrored it on one side, and on the second one, it will be mirrored on the opposite side. So on the outside of the foot, you'll have this cute little cable that goes down the side. So again, it's super easy. It's a free pattern. The reality is that it'll work on anything. You could do 3x1 rib, you could do 2x2 if you don't care if it sort of flows in, but it does flow in nicely on a 3x1 rib. And vanilla sock for me is a 72 stitch sock on 2.5mm needles. Yeah, so that's about it. Oh, I did a Fish's Kiss heel on these, but I've learned that for me, I like to pull the other end of the round ball out to do the fish lips kiss heel. If I am not doing, I'm not gaping open anywhere. If I'm not doing contrast toes, heels, and cuffs, then that's kind of the way that I go with that. That's the way I roll. So, socks in progress. These are kind of fun, just like TV knitting, as we've talked about previously. And I'm just making sure my watch ignores me. I am scheduled to be at the gym in 10 minutes, so we're going to try and wrap this up real quick. Next work in progress is a sweater that my wonderful friend Amy sent me all the yarn that I bought. To be clear, I'm not asking people to buy me yarn. I can afford my yarn. I fell in love with this pattern from Woolfolk for this beautiful wrap. And it was going to require 10 skeins of Woolfolk 4. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to pay that for it. But Shelter's about half the price. And it would look, I think, just as good in Shelter as it would in Woolfolk. I love Woolfolk. My void shawl in Woolfolk is one of my most prized possessions. Actually, ironically, it's kind of in the same color family as this. The reality is, though, that once I saw the latest collection from Brooklyn Tweed and saw this pullover by Emily Green called the Fehling sweater, I just knew that I had to have it. I had to make it, and I was actually going to be one skein short. So I immediately jumped on with House of Yarn, who I actually originally purchased the yarn through, to ask them if they had any left in stock. They had one left in stock in the same dye lot, and immediately bought it, had it shipped. So I will have enough now to do this pullover. It's going to be a weird, interesting one because my body shape has changed dramatically. And this is a full 1x1 rib sweater. The whole thing is 1x1 rib. Which means it doesn't necessarily have negative ease if you make it big enough. But I have a feeling it's going to be a bit form-fitting, snugger than anything else that I've made in the past. And I'm actually okay with that. I know a lot of people might not be, so you might want to check if you plan on making it yourself, just to see that you've got enough space in the sweater that it will give you the result that you're looking for. But I'm really happy with how it's turning out so far. I have done, like I said, I've done the first sleeve. And interestingly, they actually recommend doing your sleeve as your gauge swatch. I did not swatch. For the people in the bathroom, I did not swatch. I'm just going with it. I'm going to wing it. It's a stretchy rib sweater. If it's a little bit snugger, it's okay. If it's a little bit looser, that's okay too. So I figure it'll be okay in the end run. I have started the second sleeve. This is the project I was speaking of earlier that the rib cable cast on really comes in handy on sort of making sure that the rib flows really, really smoothly all the way to the end. I do suggest that you take a little bit of time when weaving in your ends from the cast on, that you really focus on what you're doing and how to really tie it in so it doesn't look like you've got this extra little bump. Because the knot that you have to start with can be a little bit obvious. If you take time to really tension the weaving in properly, it won't be an issue. I've got some close-ups, pictures that I'll insert somewhere around here that I will show you. So it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than I think I have done in previous jobs. So that's that one. The yarn here is Shelter, Brooklyn Tweed. There's more in my bedroom. But this is the iceberg colorway, which I absolutely love. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So that's also in progress. As part of that collection, there was the, I don't know how to pronounce this, so forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, the otte hat, or otte hat, designed by Jared Flood, that actually uses 4 colors of arbor. And I wanted to do something that made me feel like colors that were inspired and inspiring me from Mexico. The culture here is really, really vibrant and really colorful, and the houses are painted in these incredible colors. And I wanted to sort of explore that. So I bought just basically this massive collection of arbor. Well, massive, I say massive. This collection of arbor in all of these great colors that I would never put these colors together in a single project, except here it works. There's something about it that just makes me go, okay, I can get behind this. The original thought was that it would be kind of like, if I did 7 colors in total, kind of like going from like a mountainscape from like the dusk on the floor of the valley and all the way up to like sort of sunrise colors. Or it could just be flowers and greenery. Like, let's face it, I don't want to overthink it too much, but they are absolutely beautiful colors. I have not rounded up any of these yet because I feel like I have enough. I did get a bit greedy. So after the La Bien-Aimée order and all of this yarn ordered, I was kind of like, okay, we're good. Except there's a wonderful friend, Janine, who lives in Nova Scotia, who saw my sort of questioning Instagram story about, I didn't bring enough yarn, and I'm feeling my yarn and my knitting mojo coming back. And she so kindly sent me a skein of Perfect sock yarn that this is the Arnie Carlos, makes sure that you get to, the yellow is not in the pattern, the yellow is the guide wire, sort of for where to cast on. The instructions are on the back of the ball band onto sort of how to do that, but they make sure that these the socks themselves will match. So, because they do have a lot of, they're sort of like automatic Fair Isling, if that's a thing, / color working. Anyway, look them up, they're actually really cool. So, all of that to say, yeah, thank you, Janine. This is going to be some fun knitting too, so thank you. But there's one last thing that I bought, and I saw it on Instagram, and honestly, I think I was just feeling really yarn piggy, and this bag was available from Joji Locatelli that was a collaboration with Stephen West, and I just had to have it, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. But the point was, I'm not just going to pay for shipping to have this one bag shipped from Amsterdam all the way to Mexico. So I bought a kit as well for the canal rings shawl. I'll put a picture in here for that. And I've started it because I kind of wanted a nice shawl project too. So I've got socks on the go, I've got sweater on the go, I've got shawl on the go. I finished 2 hats already, I've got a cowl done. Like, the only thing I have left are like dog sweaters. Never say never. But like, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, I just kind of kept going. But anyway, without further ado, the Stephen West and Joji Locatelli bag. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen pictures of this already. The front is orange and yellow neon. The back is pink neon. It holds 6 skeins of yarn, believe it or not. It's actually that big. The project is in here, I'll show you in a moment. It has a great little pocket. The sides are actually suede, so it's super durable. I'm in love with this bag. It is so out of my comfort zone for what I normally would get, but I did ask Stephen West which one he thought I should get, and he said go for the neon. So, of course, he went to Stephen. So I did. But it wouldn't be Mexico without a little attention. These are really cute. These are all handmade felt attachments with pom-poms. They're all over here in Playa del Carmen, where I live. And I just had to have a little E, because it was me. So anyway, there's that bag inside. There's not much to show. I've cast on. I've got the first repeat of the color done. It's going to be cute. It's going to be little for now. It's going to grow. Yeah, so I've got a lot of knitting to do on that one. The colors, this is another kit that I bought. It was in the blues. I don't think it has a specific name of the kit, other than it's the Canal Rings Shawl kit. But those are the 3 blues. I guess it goes in that order that will be coming with. I do not have a ball winder and Swift here, so everything I have knit has been wound by hand, which, I'm not going to lie, I actually enjoy the process of now, but my gosh, it takes forever. It's so much easier with a ball winder and Swift, and I miss mine. I will have mine back again when I move back home to Toronto, but yay. Y'all, I don't know about you, but I'm pooped. That's a lot of knitting. For me, this is a lot of talking. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm sure there are people that are going to give me thumbs down anytime they want. Whatever, I really don't care. If this doesn't bring joy to your life, switch the channel and find something else. What's been bringing joy to my life right now is exercise, eating healthy, getting enough sunshine, getting enough fresh air, focusing on me and my health. Knitting is part of that. My education, continuing to grow, looking forward to the future, all of those things are all bringing me joy. What else is bringing me joy right now is the home edit on Netflix. I am obsessed. And I'll be setting up my new home when I get back to Toronto, and I have so much more to share on that front. Organizing is going to be a thing. It's going to be real. It's going to be real. I have basically reordered my entire life in delivery form from various vendors, and thanks to some extraordinary friends. My 2 weeks in quarantine when I get back to Canada are going to be spent organizing and setting up, and hopefully with this new camera setup I will have the opportunity to share a lot more of that with you, along with knitting content, etc., etc., etc. I have plans for new designs that are coming. I've got a rebrand of some designs that are coming. So stay tuned, there's a lot more to come. Thank you for your patience while I managed... Oh, I'm going to get emotional. Shit. I almost made it without getting emotional. It's been a real couple of years. So thank you so much for everybody. Your support, your encouragement means the world to me. So thank you. Let's go exercise.